The Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
What's up, everybody? I won't bury the lead. POSTGAME POD, 82-0 is off the board. It's gone. But 81-1 is still alive. Celtics fall in Indiana, 135-132 in overtime. Celtics rallied back from 24 down to force the extra session. A tantalizing fourth quarter, and yet the rally comes up just a little short. Celtics didn't have enough in the tank to get to the finish line, not for a lack of trying from guys like Neemias Queta and Peyton Pritchard, but Stars, rough shooting night, and the Celtics fall. You guys know how it goes. Normally we come on this podcast after a loss, and I have various stages of rage, but this is not one of those nights. This was a night where it just from the start you could tell the Celtics did not have it. And it would have been easy when they were down 21 with like 8 minutes to go to be like, or whatever it was at that point, all right, just wave the white flag. And when they rolled in Neemias Queta, Xavier Tillman, and Jordan Walsh, it kind of felt like maybe this was they were kind of signaling that they didn't think they had a good chance to get back in this. But instead, Queta gave them great energy, one of the only one of that group that really kind of stayed for the duration. And you got enough from your guys, is like big plays from Derek White, big shots from Jayson Tatum, to at least get to the extra session. A little disappointing. I do think, if I have one big, frustration from the game, it's that they wasted the Queta game. And that's not to say that Neemias might not have another big night like this. I think he's proving that he can be a valuable resource. I start looking ahead to the weekend series against Charlotte, and you're going to need some additional big man depth. So the fact that he was able to play really well with that starter group is good. On a night that, Luke, who's been really solid, just couldn't get it going. You might have found a little something with Neemias that you can tap into long term. Let's get a couple of the negatives out of the way. Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum too. The Tatum had some moments down the stretch to help you get to that extra session, but the Stars did not have it on this night. Seemingly a half step slow, really bad beyond the 3-point arc. Jaylen, I believe, finishes 1 of 11 on 3-pointers, including missing the final shot. Now, I don't hate the final shot. Even though Jaylen had been struggling all night and probably not the option A in that situation, he's also a guy that, hey, look, we don't need to rewind that far to find him making big shots against the Pacers, and got a pretty clean look and just missed it badly. So you can always second guess that, but there's clearly the Pacers were going to be alert to Tatum and Brown in that situation. Celtics had some good action going to the basket. And at least got a quality look in that situation, and you'll live with that when it's one of your superstar players missing that shot. Tatum, the 3-point shot has been struggling since opening night against the Knicks. Got dinged up early, was holding his neck for a little bit after taking a shot to the head. Kind of got it going a little bit. Still got over 30 points, 37 points, I believe it was. And but, again, just needed a little bit more down the finish line. Everybody, I think the entire team was missing free throws. Everyone but Peyton Pritchard felt like could not get to the stripe and make those shots. And that's just a combination. If you limp into the game and put yourself in a big hole, and then you use up all that energy rallying out, and then you start missing free throws and you're missing layups, this is what happens. This is the outcome on a night like this. But I go back to it. There's small positives you can pluck. You could hear it in Joe Mazzulla's voice after the game. There was still a little bit of he's not the type to find silver linings in a loss, and I'm sure he'll sit there and say there's no reason the Celtics shouldn't have won this game once they willed themselves back and gave themselves a chance to take it in overtime. But I think he's going to be proud of his group for showing that, hey, you can have a bad half. You can have bad 36 minutes. And as long as you hang in there, as long as you keep fighting, this team is capable of snowballing. And you can find that energy, and you can find a spark. You can get contributions from the depth on this team, and find a way to to at least make things interesting. So, the couple of little mini storylines on this night. Sam Hauser back after a 3-game absence. I think he had a dunk in there, although we were watching the replay and we were trying to debate whether it was a full-on dunk. Whether it was a dunk or a layup, Sam moved well. One of the few guys who was in the positive for plus-minus despite the team's struggles through the first 3 quarters. It's going to take him a little bit of time here to shake some rust and get back to Sam Hauser things, but you can see how he can help that second unit. I thought Peyton Pritchard was great throughout this game. You know, any night you get him and TJ McConnell, just kind of the two canceling each other out with their energy and the way they play. It's a fun night and good for Peyton. Same thing, like another guy that just couldn't quite get it going out of the gates, but was really important in the rally, made some plays, and it gave you a chance. And so I was wondering how it would work with Sam coming back. Could Peyton still be as impactful? And it's clear, like, he's still going to have an opportunity to play big minutes. Drew Holiday and Al Horford limited minutes in this game. You know, I saw Drew at one point kind of like flexing his left leg, and he had a big knee pad on. I think you're going to have nights like this where veteran guys either don't play big roles or, you know, need limited time. It's another like curiosity I have is when we look ahead later to that Charlotte game, like how exactly they play it with the personnel. But it's going to be very rare that Jayson and Jaylen are struggling, that Drew and Al, you know, can only give you sort of limited output, and that you're kind of left hunting for that spark, that you need Peyton, that you need Kata to kind of turn you up a little bit. And, you know, I credit to the Celtics for hanging in there. It really felt like the poor Pacers were going to be sitting there with PTSD, Pacer TSD, when the Celtics rallied and found a way yet again to make big plays late. But credit to Siakam. He was fantastic in overtime. This is why, even with Halliburton struggling, Pacers are going to be there. Like, when they play with pace, when they play with motivation, they're one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And, you know, it's going to be hard to match what they did last season because the East is a little bit better. At least on paper, there's teams that got better. But I really like what the Pacers got. I mean, that was with Nembhard, who was really good in that series last year, really having a rough night, and then practically got benched, I believe. As they live, and you can see what Mathurin would have meant to that team if he had been out there in the postseason. So Nesmith, what a good game, always motivated against Boston. McConnell, just like, God, every time they play him, he's just such a pest. So credit to the Pacers. They continue to be a little bit of a thorn in the Celtics side during the regular season, and you know, probably not the team you want to deal with in the playoffs, but you can see why they're going to be there, why they're going to hang around, why they are a team to watch. Like I said, 82-0 off the board. I'm pretty sure even when I was chugging the green Kool-Aid to the maximum, I did not think the Celtics would actually go undefeated, and it's clear they're going to get a lot of teams' best swings, and they're going to have to match teams' energy, and they didn't do that for this one throughout the game. So a good little lesson. I suspect Joe Mazzulla will be pretty pumped to have some bad tape. I was talking about the Celtics poise in an article on NBC Sports Boston today, and Drew Holiday was telling me a couple weeks ago about, you know, how everything they went through during the season and all the adversity that Joe put them into helped them kind of navigate it, but that in the same quote, he talks about how Joe likes to just remind them that, you know, sometimes they suck, and their energy, their focus out of the gates tonight, it sucked. Blew a lot of layups, like an incredible amount of layups. There's little things they can tweak to be just a little bit better the next time they see these Pacers. Let's get into more from our postgame show.
Celtics Talk is presented by 24 Auto Group, where now through the end of the year, they are doubling your down payment at all 11 locations throughout southern New England. Go to 24autogroup.com for more info.
Tom Giles, Eddie House, Celtics come back from 24 down, force overtime against the Pacers, but fall in this one 135-132. A furious comeback there, Eddie. It comes up short in OT. Your initial takeaways from this one?
I don't think we got off to a great start. I think we came in and wasn't able to match their energy. They were able to come out and play their brand of basketball, and we were playing catch up the whole game until we finally caught up. And then once you do that, anything can happen. We went to overtime and we ended up losing the game. But, all right, you got to give credit to the Indiana Pacers for what they were able to do and get them win.
Drew and Scal joining us now as well. And Scal, I guess what's your takeaway from what you saw here tonight? Celtics falling down by 24. We're coming all the way back to force overtime and coming up just short.
Yeah, we did a lot of things wrong throughout this game, but at the end, when Indiana sort of took their foot off the gas, and we kind of went with some unique lineups to get back into it, and we hit all the right buttons. Cato was huge during that comeback, but you could see, I think that these guys just had a little. Indiana's a different team. They don't want you to shoot any threes. They want you to try to finish at the rim. When you miss at the rim, they take advantage of it, and that's what happened throughout this game until the end, when they kind of slowed down, played a little bit tougher, showed a lot of heart, but ultimately Siakam was too big, and I think Drew mentioned it. Siakam has lost 13 games in a row to the Celtics. I think he was tired of losing to the Celtics, and you could see he delivered in that overtime.
Yeah, and Eddie, I guess I'd ask you as well. What did it look like? What was different about the Celtics' defensive approach there in those final few minutes when they were able to get back in the game?
Well, I mean, I thought that we played as well as we could coming back into the game, right? It's different when at the beginning of the game, I felt like we were sleepwalking again. You look up at halftime, but this is the thing that I want to ask Scal this. Scal, is it concerning that we're giving up so many points in the paint, that our discrepancy night in and night out is as big as it has been every single night, except against the Milwaukee Bucks? It was only +4 against Milwaukee. But every other game, it's been double figures or more every single game, points in the paint. Is that something that concerns you? Because it does concern me moving forward.
Tonight was awful. And I think, Eddie, a lot of those points in the paint were off of fast breaks. So you think every time we turned it over, every time we got blocked, every time we missed a layup, they were going. So fast break points are points in the paint. In the half court, we were just all right, but Indiana's a great movement team, great cutting team. I just thought when Cato was in there, it was a big difference. Al Horford
real quick. Can I say that? But fast break points, it's only 29 to 21. So that's only +8 for them. I'm talking about points in the 62 to 44. That's a big discrepancy. The same thing happened against New York, and they were +12. I want to say at one game it was +28, and then the only game that we had it kind of close was the game against Milwaukee. That's something that we got to shore up. I know fast break points is something of points in the paint. We're going to get that, but for the most part, it's not like all the time you're getting fast break points. We got to shore up our paint. I don't feel like we're doing a great job on that so far. If I'm nitpicking, I think we're a great team. But if I want to nitpick and say, hey, how we want to be even a greater team, those are things that we got to clean up.
Yeah, and I would just say, I mean, if you're worried about the paint defense, that's one thing. I feel like the discrepancy, the plus-minus, the Celtics will probably lose that for the season just because they're shooting so many threes. I mean, they lose it in the Knicks game, but still win the game by a bunch just because of how many threes they're hitting. But tonight, the paint discrepancy was alarming, that's for sure.
Tonight was a problem.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, you could talk about the comeback all you want, but up until that point, yeah, we were awful in the paint. Not just in fast breaks, but also in the half court. We were awful today in the paint. But, I think Tatum made a difference. Obviously, I think Porzingis would make a difference. And I don't know, with Al Horford, was it a minute restriction? He only played 19 minutes. Coach Mazzulla decided not to go back with him. Cater did a great job, so I can see that. But, I wonder, remember when we put Al Horford in at the end of the Detroit game? And all of a sudden, that made a massive difference to walk down that lead and eventually get that win.
Yeah, I mean, I thought just credit to Indiana. I thought they just outplayed us. I thought we were a step behind on everything. I thought their speed, their pace, just They were a step ahead of us. And it wasn't our best night. I thought we missed a ton of layups. I thought we had some rebounds with two hands that we didn't get, that we tapped out. So we just didn't play our best, and Indiana played great. But there's two things, right? You could focus on that, or you could focus on the fact that we just stayed in it. We stayed in it. It was weird. I didn't think we were playing great, but it was right around 15, 12, and then just chipping away. And, we made a game of it. So, there's two things to focus on. There's making sure we get off, so we're not half a step behind. But you see what we're capable of kind of at our best, top to bottom. And the guys fought, and so that was good.
Just try to figure out how to get some stops and just get out in transition. I feel like we got a lot of good looks tonight. We didn't really shoot the ball. Just our energy was just lackluster. A lot of that was on me. I got to be better for my guys. Just converting at the rim, simple stuff, making open shots. But that second group, they battled back, helped us get back into the game. In the fourth quarter, Peyton, Nimi played great. Nimi played awesome tonight and gave us a chance. We strung together some stops. We got some rebounds, got some baskets. In that fourth quarter, I think that helped us. Defensively, we turned it up a little bit, was able to turn them over. But we put ourselves in a hole early in the game, just not converting open looks, not being physical enough on drives, finishing at the rim. And a lot of that was on me. I got to be better for my guys. But way to battle back. We had an opportunity to win, and we just didn't convert at the end.
Jaylen, in the second half, in a lot of ways, the energy kind of shifted for Indiana when Mathurin took on more of a bigger role. What made him so effective tonight?
He was just being aggressive. I think that was it.
You guys can play 10 good minutes and it makes up for maybe 30 not so good minutes. What is that like to kind of be able to flip a game around like that and lose at the end, but knowing that you have that talent to shift?
Yeah, it's a luxury. We got a good group, we got a good unit, but we can't take it for granted. Can't take games for granted. We had an opportunity to win tonight, and we didn't pull it through. So we'll definitely look at it, look at the film, and be better going forward.
What did you see from Siakam on that three? He was hot from distance. That's kind of the shot you wanted to take.
Yeah, I think Siakam, this is the best I've seen him shoot the ball, at least against us. Usually we guard him a little differently, but he shot the ball extremely well tonight. In that last one, we got the switch, and we were just a little bit maybe too low. He felt good all night, and he was able to knock it down. Big shot.
Jaylen, the last shot you took in overtime, is that what Joe drew up, and how did you feel?
Yeah, that's a play that we worked on, and I just didn't have my legs up under me. I thought it was a good look, but just all night, just didn't have my legs up under me. No explosion, no burst, and I think that cost us.
What is it about the Pacers team that gives you guys trouble?
They're a good team. They play fast. They scrappy. They got some good players, some good young players on that team. So credit to them.
You obviously puts a lot of work into your training and workouts and everything. What do you think is the source of not having legs at this point in the season?
It's just game after game. As you go through the season, you got ups and downs. You got injuries, all type of stuff that you just go through. It'll work itself out.
It was mismatch in transition. I had Halliburton on me. I understand that's probably not the matchup that they wanted. Peyton just threw it to me quick. I thought they was gonna foul, so I just wanted to get a shot off quick. With some time left in case I missed it to get the rebound or whatever.
You come out, obviously, you guys are down 21 with like a minute and a half left. Did you think that was it? Like, just Joe say, hey, we'll see how the game goes. What was the process like leading up to that? And how do you kind of just get back in
Yeah, I had played the whole third, started the fourth. Game wasn't going the way we would like. Took me out, me and D. White, a couple of other guys, and give credit to the guys that stepped up and, kind of brought us back into it and gave us a chance. And, he put me and D. White back in the game and tried to make something happen.
Jayson, your third game already this season, 37, 22 of those in the first half. How is it different for you in year number 8 now, kind of knowing when to hit that motor as opposed to being more of a distributor, a facilitator for longer stretches?
I really just didn't like the way I started the game. I feel like I set the tone in a negative way. My energy wasn't where it needed to be. And I just felt like that just had a domino effect. We were a step behind on offense, on defense. So I take a lot of the blame for that. And I just wanted to kind of pick it up in the second half.
What happened to play when you got that throw in that first quarter?
Came across and hit my head. The way it jerked, kind of just shot down my neck, and my arm was tingling, and I was in some pain for a little bit, and it went away. It went away. I'm cool.
Jason, you guys have enough talent to where 10 good minutes can make up for 30 not so good minutes. It's a luxury, but what is that like to deal with knowing you can make a comeback like this and make up for it? It seems like you can't rely on that too much.
Yeah, it was a tale of spurts. It showed when we play Celtics basketball, we don't turn it over. We get back in transition, we get stops, we get out and run, and play to our strengths. And we like a totally different team. And for the other bad parts of the game, we didn't do that, and we didn't look like ourselves.
Before you came in here, Jaylen pointed the finger at himself, said that he wasn't at his best, but other players might have. Then you come in here and said, how much responsibility do you guys feel to set the tone for your team? And how different do you feel that everybody else is when you guys are at your best?
Yeah, it's part of it. And it starts with us. We got to be better just with our energy and our trying to execute it and making the right plays, and not just scoring it. We got to be able to get stops. We got to be able to rebound. We got to be able to get guys open, playing with energy. It's contagious, and it kind of starts with us.
Jayson, maybe was able to keep so many possessions alive down the stretch. Talk about his play, especially.
Yeah, he was amazing, right? Didn't play all game and played the last, 8 minutes in the fourth and overtime, and really kept us in it, got stops, rebounded his ass off, right? 9 rebounds in 13 minutes, gave us some second and third chance opportunities. So Nimi was big, right? He's plus 18 in 13 minutes. He only took 2 shots. That's impressive.
All right, the Celtics 4-game road trip rolls on. Friday night, Saturday night, a back-to-back in Charlotte, one of my favorite cities. So here's my curiosity. We all know Charles Lee, former lead assistant for the Celtics, took that job down in Charlotte. He's got a lot of work to do to get that team competitive in the Eastern Conference, but some intriguing parts. LaMelo Ball has been fun to watch to start the year. Steph Curry's down there now. There's some matchups to watch there as Charlotte kind of finds its way. How does Charles Lee's presence, he knows that core group really well. Can he make it at least a little difficult on the Celtics to do what they normally do? And how do the Celtics react to that? The other curiosity is it's a back-to-back. And so as we were talking about earlier, how do the Celtics play this? Is Al going to play the first night of the back-to-back and then rest? Did they just see something tonight? Did they tread cautiously tonight so they could play him bigger minutes on Friday? We'll see how it looks out there. Sam maybe a little bit more rush, shaken off here. Can carry a little bit more of a workload that night. But we'll see. And do you after Cater was so good, do you go back to him? Do you continue to find minutes for Jordan Walsh? It certainly feels like over the course of 2 games, you're going to have ample opportunity to lean into your depth, and maybe even need one more guy to give you a little something. But it starts with the starters on Friday night. Tatum talks a lot about loving Monday nights on the road in Charlotte on League Pass. Well, he's going to have to learn to embrace Friday nights, Saturday nights in Charlotte on NBC Sports Boston, because that's what it's going to be. And hopefully all the Duke fans that typically make the trek and invade the Spectrum Center will get on those buses, make it a little weekend, give Tatum a little motivation to shake some of this shooting slump and get back to what we saw opening night, first 6 quarters of the season when he really had a swagger beyond that 3-point arc. But the Celtics as a whole got to bury it, move on, enjoy trick-or-treating in Charlotte, and get ready for what's next. I hope you all do too. Let me know what you guys got for candy. I can pop by your houses tomorrow night on an off night. Anyone serving those full-size candy bars? All right, we're going off the rails. Go like, subscribe, check us out on the YouTube page. Happy Halloween, everybody. We'll catch you next time, Friday night, on the PostGame Pod.